Today's show is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, the top-rated sports booking app in all of North America. You already know, safe, secure, reliable, and when we talking about them, you know I got the promo code for you, baby, and it's that playoff special. Why? Because that wild card round is going on, so what better way to add to your watching activities than by tapping in with DraftKings. For the new customers, when you download the app, use that first, you put that first deposit of $5, you'll get $200 back in bonus bets instantly with the promo code MOATS. It is a dope concept. You can't go wrong with it, but at the same time, you might get lost in the sauce. Might develop a gambling problem. It's like that sometimes. And if you're in New York, you see it's a number that you could text. But for everybody else, the number to dial is 1-800-GAMBLER. And this is what I've said at times about Coach Tomlin. When people say, like, what am I critical of Coach Tomlin about? Clock management, number one. But the second part is he is very stubborn in his preparation. He will sometimes wait a little bit too long to come off of the preparation. And I understand both sides of it. How many times has this guy been right? He's been right way more than he's been wrong when he prepares. So oddly, when you're looking at those numbers, that's going to reflect the guy that doesn't want to change when he's seeing some adversity for the first time or even the second time, because he's saying to himself, man, my track record is when I prepare like this, I'm successful. But he's also the same guy that says you got to be light on your toes. Why do you got to be light on your toes? Because if you're getting in a situation and you feel like, hey, man, all right, we, a couple series into this thing, we not getting the look that we want. We're not having the matchup success that we want. Man, it's time to switch. And that's one of my faults with him. He will stick on that of, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. Execute it. And it's like, all right, I'm with you on that until your personnel can't execute it. Deke, I can say, Deke, get out there, line up in this 6 technique, shoot both of your hands on the chest plate, right nipple, left nipple, shoot him like just going right up. And then I need you to follow him whichever way he's going body-wise, as if you're shooting a duck out the air. All right. No, Peter, don't get me. But I need you to follow him like that every single time. I want you to step with his right. You're going to mirror his feet with your steps. Don't cross over at all. Get out there and execute it. And you don't get out. Hey, man, I just told you what to do, right? Get out there and execute it. I'm telling you exactly how to beat this block right here. This is the exact way. I promise you this is perfect. But it's like, if you can't do that, it doesn't matter if I'm telling you exactly the right answer and I'm telling you 1000% the correct way. If you can't do it, I have to figure out the alternative. I have to figure out, all right, Deke, don't worry about shooting your hands. Line up like you're about to run a sprint, and I want you to just go head first through this open gap right here, and we're going to force this block, and I'm going to tell this linebacker to make you right. That's the alternative of it. He's capable of that as well, but he's so stubborn at times with the preparation, with the plan. And that's why at times as fans will be saying, hey, man, why don't you ever make adjustments? Why don't we ever, where's the halftime switch? Because it's like, he believes it so hard. And his track record has proven it. So it's like, I get it.
Yeah, that was one of those games I think you did have to be a little more agile, given that you could attack a Bengals defense in both ways, whether it is running the ball or passing the ball, as you saw in the first matchup.
Seriously.
So to your point, once you see our O-line's not blocking that amazing,
Trey is having a day.
Maybe you gotta figure something out. And the quick passing approach, what do you know, worked in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if it's Bengals playing a little bit more prevent defense, but we saw the quick passing game worked really good in that first matchup, in the first quarter, the second quarter, all throughout the game. So, I'm surprised that wasn't a part of the approach going into this. Yeah. And that helps out Russ, too.
It does. It definitely does.
Trust Russ, man.
Let him cook.
I'm being serious. I can live with that. If we go down with a less conservative game plan than what we had going into this Bengals game, and, we're letting Russ be in shotgun, letting Russ read it, I'm fine with that. I don't want to see what we saw against the Bengals game again, though.
Yeah,
I can live with going down with Russ with this playoff experience.
I don't want to lose
the resume
conservative
that he has, and how he's been playing this year, man. It's not like It's not like he doesn't have it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen enough success from him this year to know he still has it, and now it's just going to come down to, Are we going to execute this thing? Are the coaches actually going to call certain things that open up the offense a little bit more? Because we all would agree. We saw them play the Bengals 2 times, and we could all point and say this offense in that first matchup was opened up, pass first. You could get it how you live. Whereas this one, it was we were running the ball. We are ultra conservative, and we are not going to even present an opportunity for a turnover. But when you're going 3-and-out, it really don't matter. It's like, man, that's just as bad. Field position isn't terrible, but you still not getting what you want accomplished. So, and that's why the game didn't feel as close.
Right. And I don't know exactly how I want to divvy up the blame there, because you could talk about Arthur Smith. He's the one calling the plays. He's our offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing a lot of stuff about Tomlin overseeing the offense and just how the flow is and game planning. And we heard that in the past. He admitted to it whenever Canada was here.
Like he is hands-on,
so maybe in a way,
from a schematic standpoint.
He needs to let off the reins a little bit.
So I think this is the thing, man. When we're talking about Coach Tomlin,
he wasn't doing that with Todd Haley, right?
So don't think of it in the sense of he's controlling the play call. Think of it in the sense of it's the ideology of how we want to attack. Some teams are going to say, Deke, I want you to get out here and I want us to be tempo. I want fast pace. I want to press teams. I want to test their conditioning. So it's going to be on you to figure out how to generate fast paced offense, whether that's quick game, whether that's hurry up offense, whether that's you just line up at the line of scrimmage, but then we're going to call it from the sideline. But it just gives you illusion of tempo. Or you might have a guy come in there and say, yo, I want to slow this thing. I want to take the air off the ball. I want to make it the most long, just drag out game ever. All right, it's on me to figure out, how do I eat up clock? How do I make sure that I'm sustaining drives? Run the ball, play action, 1 or 2 passes, take your time. Don't snap that ball till it's 10 seconds left on the play clock at least, right? So I think it was more of that than, hey, call this.
No, I'm with
play.
you.
You know
no,
what
I
mean? Like,
agree with you.
That,
and I think that does go back to, all right, if the run game ain't working,
right, and that's the
we got to figure out how to move the offense one way or another.
Because if we're just focusing on offense, then if I'm just trying to do what I want to do to score, that's different than how do I help my team out? Because if I know this is a matchup where it's not all the way in our favor defensively, but I know offensively we don't have that personnel that can match them what they're going to be trying to do. Now I got to figure out as a whole how to put it together. And that's why you'll see coordinators look good, but then when they become head coaches, they struggle because it's a different mindset. It's not just how do I make this part great? It's how does this complement this? Wow, my special teams, I got to make sure that they're complementary as well. So when you look at us, we typically have been complementary in all 3 phases, but it's looked different. It hasn't been like what we deem as like normal complementary football with NFL offenses in today's time, where it is more passing, where it is more of the high scoring.
It has been, though. It points this year. That's why I'm wondering. Why all of a sudden do we want to go backwards? And I'm not even saying backwards, because let's also admit, being this ground and pound team against the Bengals and keeping Joe Burrow off the field, it's not a bad strategy.
No, not at all.
It's not, especially since the Bengals' rush defense isn't that good either. But when it's not working, you got to figure out a way to pivot faster, I think.
And I think that's
going back to your point of being flexible.
Yeah.
Having some other outs or just having some other avenues prepared. I don't know if that goes into the preparation.
Trust me, Coach Tomlin has all of these bullets in the chamber across the board. Danny Smith on special teams, offensively, all of them do. But it really just goes back to how light you are on your feet. Because for some people, we've seen how many times we've talked about, man, this offense they tried to run the ball the first 2 series. It didn't work, so they abandoned the run. And they just threw it for the rest of the game and essentially lost them their opportunity. Heck, the first Ravens matchup, we say, they just stopped giving Derrick Henry the ball.
Yeah.
Why? Overthought it, right? Abandoned their plan too soon.
Hopefully they do that this
right.
time.
But we saw it work in our favor, where a team not named the Pittsburgh Steelers did the exact thing, or the exact opposite thing. They abandoned it too soon, and we saw how it worked out for us. Whereas that second matchup, they said, man, we're not about to abandon this. They gave it to Derrick Henry. He had, 200? They had, 200-something yards on the ground that day, and it was a way different outcome. Part of why I still feel good about this matchup, because I'm like, which OC are we getting? Because I still ain't convinced on them.
I think
all
Zay
the way,
Flowers
man.
being out is going to be a big deal.
I do too, man.
It enables the Steelers to focus on the run more and focus on the middle of the field more.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't really think that Lamar Jackson's going to be able to get Rashad Bateman, Wallace, or Aguilar the ball to the same clip as Zay Flowers, because Zay Flowers in the couple games against us this year was a threat.
I would agree.
Lamar
Zay's
missed him a couple times in the first game, but you
Zay's
saw
a
they
Pro
had a
Bowl
good
receiver.
connection in the second one.
1,000-yard receiver, Pro Bowl receiver,
Yeah.
man. Like, he's a good player. Like, we would have. We wanted him. We said that we would. We was on his trail, so we know what he's capable of.
We didn't draft the receiver, I guess, in that
We
one.
didn't. Yeah,
Because that was between like Zay Flowers, Addison, Smith, and Jigba.
Yeah.
What was that draft? Who the hell did we draft? I guess that was Broderick Jones. Broderick Jones and JPJ.
Yeah, because I
think.
Yeah, because Addison was the year after. Was he 2 after Kenny or 1 after Kenny?
Just one.
Right. So we did Kenny first, and then it was
We were talking about
Broderick.
drafting Addison.
Yeah, to pair with him, like
Do the
Burrow
whole-
and Chase.
right.
Yeah.
And we drafted Broderick instead.
Yeah.
Then Addison went late first. Zay Flowers went late first.
Yeah.
Joey Porter Jr. slid.
Yeah. Went late first. Call him late first. I like it, man. I like it.
We really should have done looking back, if we could have pulled it off, trade Deontay for, I don't know, first or second round pick.
Yeah.
Drafted Jordan Addison.
I mean,
We should've
hindsight's
just done that.
2020.
Given that we, ended up trading Deontay anyway this offseason, although Deontay Jackson's been a godsend for us, so I can't complain too much. He's 5 picks for a cornerback.
Come on, man.
A Steelers cornerback.
Come on, man. He actually catches.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man.
And that's with
Heck
them
yeah.
missing a couple games.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been more.
Leaving
Could have been like
leaving
6 or
games
7.
early too. He's left multiple games early.
Right.